And meanwhile, the U.S. has reaffirmed its commitment to the Southeast Asian region and working closely with ASEAN. Acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan said this in a series of meetings with Southeast Asian defense ministers here in Singapore on the opening day of the Shangri-La Dialogue. Elizabeth Nyo with more.
As tensions between the United States and China escalate further, this year's Shangri-La Dialogue couldn't have come at a more significant time. U.S.-China relations are expected to take center stage at the Security Forum, with a meeting between acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan and China's Defense Minister Wei Fenghe set to take place on the sidelines. Now, Mr. Shanahan had earlier told reporters in Jakarta that China remained his top defense priority, but also reaffirmed the U.S. commitment to the region. This was conveyed during a meeting between Mr. Shanahan and Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong at the Istana, where both countries reaffirmed their long-standing ties. And as seen earlier in the day from Mr. Shanahan's meeting with Singapore Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen, defence will feature strongly. Now, both men said they welcome the upcoming renewal of a 1990 agreement that allows U.S. forces to use Singapore's air and naval bases and sees the U.S. rotationally deploy its assets to Singapore for exercises. The renewal must be done by 2020 and will include partnership elements of the U.S. National Defense Strategy that was recently conveyed for the region. Now, this follows a meeting between Singapore and China on Wednesday, where both countries also agreed to update a defense agreement that could see them increase the scale of their military exercises. The agreement is expected to be signed later this year. The defense ministers also affirmed the need for stable defense relations between the U.S. and China, particularly as trade tensions increase. And looking at both developments together, it points towards Singapore's consistent position on U.S. and China that nobody needs to choose sides. Dr. Ng had said a few days ago that countries don't live in a unipolar or bipolar world. And the fact that Singapore has met with both sides, China and the U.S., shows the role it is trying to play here in helping to facilitate constructive cooperation between the two superpowers, especially on a platform like this Security Forum.